right, y'all. We back on the scene to pull the lesson out. This is Gaming Looks Good, episode number 22. And this time we're talking about Street Fighter V. Now, I'm Shareef Jackson, broadcasting to y'all live out of Milwaukee. And this is the show where we look at a game from the lens of diversity. So race, gender, and sexuality is how we do it here. Check out some more of my work at gaminglooksgood.com, on Twitter at gaminglooksgood, or also check out the podcast that I co-host, Spawn on Me, which is at spawnon.me. And the shirt that I'm wearing for this episode is from the Spawn on Me podcast, Come to the Dark Side. Got the show logo right over there in the two. So I think it's a good use of the branding. Shout out to Kai and Cicero, my fellow co-host there, for coming up with the design. And it's dope. So definitely peep out some of that merch at spawnon.me. So let's go right to the game, y'all. So what you'll see here on the right is on the website, they have a list of all the characters. The most interesting thing I found about this is if you sort by different things, you'll get some really gendered stereotypes. For example, I sorted by mobility, and all of the women tend to be on the top of the mobility charts, in the top 50%, right? So like all the big guys and like the other guys, with the exception of like our Mika, who's a wrestler, and we'll definitely be talking about her later because as you can see, she's fairly boobalicious. All the women are on the top of the mobility, but they're on the bottom if you sort by power, right? So all the guys are on top, all the women are on the bottom there. So like you're left with this thing where like the women are like the small, nimble characters that are really fast. They can sneak up on you, and the guys are like these kind of big brutes, which really sucks. I mean, I really think that Capcom could have used this as a time to have some more body diversity and some more gender diversity here. Like, you have a lot of women in your game. Why not spread them out among these attributes? Have some women that are bigger and more powerful and slower, right? They all don't have to be like the cute little nimble kind of female character that we've seen in many fighting games like before. So that wasn't that good of a start. I mean, I was happy to see that there were a lot of like women and a lot of people of color as well. As you see, we got Dalcine, we have Rashid, who is like actually a Middle Eastern character, which is like awesome. And we have Vega from Spain, Laura from Brazil. So we definitely have, I think that the diversity side on it, from just looking at like the race and the gender, is like good, but the women still do fall under that stereotype of the power and the mobility. So let's get right to the game, okay? And let's start off with like Ken fighting one of the new characters, Karin. And it actually just starts off fairly well. So let's check that out.
Okay, let's see what you've got.
I'm sure to enjoy this, fighting a man of your prowess.
So, she's sexy, but it's not like overdoing her, right? Like, she definitely has on a short skirt and stuff, but they show her having like, shorts under her dress. So it's not like you're getting all these crazy sort of under the dress shots when she falls on the ground, which is what I was like worried about here. But like, I was kind of like, hey, she actually looks cool. She's just fighting in a dress, which I know sounds like it shouldn't be a big deal, but I was playing Double Dragon the other day, and I forgot how they have it where you can see Marion's like underwear while she's, being carried off at the beginning. So they really had a chance to kind of make this a really cheap shot, and I'm glad that they did not. And they kind of treated her, like they made a sexy character that does not look too ridiculous. So I was really happy about that. Unfortunately, as we move on to the next character, things go downhill.
Okay, as we've not seen each other, you will show me big new skills you developed in ring. You ready for this?
Yes! Thank you for giving me this chance.
So as I said, our Mika is, I just don't even know how to explain it. She's just a bunch of breasts. Like that's immediately where your eyes are drawn. And I get it. She's like supposed to be this cool wrestler that kind of idolizes like Zangief and stuff, but like they could have given her breasts and not made them like the thing. I just found it kind of a really lazy and ridiculous look, and it looks even dumber in the cutscenes.
To follow in footsteps, you need muscle spirit, young one.
Now, to be real, Zangief also looks very ridiculous, right? But the fact that like, you know, she's just like all boobs and they make her waist even skinnier in the cutscene, so it even accentuates that. I mean, it's just really bad. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable kind of showing this to like, you know, especially to like a younger girl. I think it's kind of ridiculous. And it gets worse, unfortunately.
I think I learned something. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me, sir.
Now, the only thing I like about this is that, you know, like, first of all, she's bowing to Dalsim, who's like a person of color, so respect that. But you know, she just is always in some position where her boobs are out, like, and like she's almost pointing them towards the camera, and like that just really bothered me. And you even get some death breasts a little later. If you recall, when I did my video on Mortal Kombat 9, death breasts are when these like ridiculously dressed female characters are lying on the ground and their breasts just look kind of unnaturally just poking in the air. Yep, there we go. So yeah, it's just like they just look dumb, right? You know, and it's just Capcom, get your shit together, man. Like she could have been an awesome wrestler character that did not have her boobs out every second of the game, you know. But let's move on to the other character, Laura, who, you know, can't get much worse than that, right? Well,
That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly.
yeah, so they're definitely playing her up as a quote unquote Latin spice because she's from Brazil, but I mean the camera's going everywhere. I mean it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. Once again, you can have a sexy Latina character and not just have, you know, these gratuitous kind of camera shots, right? Even though Zangief is like huge, like both like Ryu and like Ken are like, you know, like they're really jacked guys. I don't see the camera going all up on their on their crotch and their ass and like that kind of stuff, right? So, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So let's see some more of your girl Laura. Yeah, and they got the death breasts with her as well. So unfortunately.
Good.
I'm excited just by how strong he looks. Hey, I'm Lara Matsuda. I came here to fight with you.
To fight with me?
That's right. Anyway, the reason why doesn't really matter right now. I just know that fighting with you would be very awesome.
Okay, so many problems with this. First of all, she's excited by how strong he is. I don't know why I want to fight, but it's awesome. And the whole time there's just this ridiculous underboob shot of her watching kind of Ryu. And I get it, like they're trying to set off this comedy where she's like the really excitable one and like he's like the stoic kind of warrior. But again, they didn't have to do it with these gratuitous boob shots here. I mean, it's just bad and it's lazy and it's just unacceptable.
I knew you'd be fun.
Yeah, so her character in the game has the underboob with this small little shirt and like her shorts are like kind of like halfway undone. You can see like her thong kind of coming up. I mean, this is literally something that I can't believe a game exec came up with in 2016. I mean, and it, you know, it gets worse.
That was everything I wanted. Hey, I gotta ask, what was coming out of you when the fight got heated? It sounded like like you were burning with weird energy.
Do you mean the Satsui no Hado?
Very stylish name. I definitely liked it. It made the whole thing more thrilling.
You like that?
Well, I need to get going. See ya, Ryu.
That is the most like sexually charged like post-fight thing. Like it just seems like they're about to film a porn scene. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I think that some exec like they looked at this and they thought that like it would be kind of hilarious if like Ryu was kind of put into this like kind of awkward kind of situation. He even gives the oh you like that? And then she's like, oh, it's more thrilling. What's that sound you made when it was coming out? I mean, it just like it's like a 12-year-old wrote this. You know what I'm saying? Like while he was like thinking about porn, you know what I'm saying? Like just get this stuff out of my games. You know what I'm saying? It's so distracting. Now, so far, Laura and our Mika's costume, very, very heavy on the boobage, right? But Capcom did not, they did not only focus on the boobs, they also have some very, very bad crotch coverings, as we'll see next.
I told you to shut your mouth!
Now, Cammy, I don't know what's going on in her crotch area. She apparently is wearing this military type uniform, which to be fair is her classic uniform from Super Street Fighter when she was introduced. But I mean, this thing is like barely covering up like her crotch area. I mean, it's just dumb. It's like a bikini. Like you can like almost see her kind of writhing in pain. Like, why did you put me in this? Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is a chance where, you know, they have all kind of costumes in this game. She does have some other pretty cool costumes, but this default costume, it's just something that they should have changed. I mean, why not just widen that so it at least covers up like the whole part, like between her legs? I mean, it's just not a good look, not a good look at all. Yeah, so the women in this game, pretty bad overall. There are some parts, you know, if you leave the women alone for a bit, there are some parts where, you know, because of the diversity of the male characters, they actually have, you know, some instances where there's no white people on the screen. It's just, you know, people talking to each other that are minorities, which, you know, sad to say is not that easy to find in games. So let's check out this one here.
Well, at least I got to fight someone as extraordinarily skilled as you. It was a good experience. One more thing. I'm sure you know many people. Have you seen this person?
No.
I see. Thank you then. Take care.
Yeah, so like that was a pretty dumb scene, but the fact that, you know, like you have these scenes between Rashid and like a Dalsim and some of the other characters of that color where they're just interacting with each other. That's something that I want to see more from these games. So yeah, so Street Fighter 2, great job on the racial diversity, great job on the number of women, but the situations you put these women in are terrible. You got to fix this shit, especially with the job that NetherRealm did on Mortal Kombat X. I'm not saying that like you have to give a overall deep story mode, because I don't think that can come from Street Fighter ever, but at least treat your women with some respect. It won't change their fighting, it won't change the combos, but it will change the perception that people, especially new gamers, especially young women, have with games like this. And that's it for this episode of A Game Looks Good, y'all. Once again, GameLooksGood.com, at GamingLooksGood on Twitter, and SpawnOn.me. Peace.
Back to the lab with the mic,
Back, what you looking for the same thing?